I'm going to be going live today, just waiting for people to show up. Or I'm going live today. We're doing free spirit-led mediumship readings. And I also brought some oracle cards for anybody that joins the live. So just be hanging out waiting for people to show up. Oh, I think I blew it out too fast. Oh, it's going. Okay. Hello. Happy Sunday. Hey, Melissa. How are you? I was kind of getting bored waiting around, so I'm just hopping on a little bit early. I've been up since like 6:30. We had two very early hockey practices today. Well, one game and one practice. Hope your day is going well. Oh, you guys got a lot of snow? It still has not snowed here yet. How much did you end up getting? Oh, I know it takes a while to type out. I did bring some oracle cards today. I got the elemental oracle, and I brought my divine nature oracle cards to kind of break things up a little bit. And then I also have 6 inches. Oh my gosh. And I still always have my talking to heaven cards. That's a lot of snow. It is pretty. I like the snow. We haven't gotten any of it yet. But I don't like driving in it. Or shoveling it. I don't think anybody likes shoveling it either. Hello. Looks like we're getting some more people in here. Just come on and say hi so I know who's here. They don't give me a list anymore of like who is in or out. Oh yeah. I was in New Hampshire. It had been 10 years ago because I think my kid was 2 for Thanksgiving. And the forecast was light snow. And so I packed for light snow in my area. So, I mean, we had our winter jackets, but I didn't pack like snow boots or gloves, like nothing like that. And we got snowed in for like the entire time we were there. Like, it wasn't snowing when we arrived, but like later that day, it started snowing, and we were heading to a different city in New Hampshire from where we were staying to like see the sights or whatever. And the people who lived in New Hampshire were like, we got to turn around and head back home, like right now. And I was like, okay. And so it snowed for like 24 hours straight. Trees were falling everywhere. We lost electricity. Like the house was on a generator. Like we were in the middle of the forest, and like you could hear all night the trees cracking and falling. And I was like, this is light snow? This is insane. They got like 12 inches of snow. And I was like, that's light snow? Anyway, we had to like we rented a car, and basically the car was only used to get us to there from the airport and then back to the airport. And we had to like shovel the car out. the rental car out to leave. So, I mean, it was fun. We had fun, but I was like, that is not light snow for me. New Hampshire is crazy. Hey, Samantha. How are you today? I was showing Melissa. I brought some of my oracle cards down today. I was thinking about it before. So I have my elemental oracle and then my divine healer or divine nature. Divine nature. I got those to kind of break things up a little bit today. And then I also have my, obviously, the talking to heaven. You definitely have a different idea of light snow. That is for sure. I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. Like, that was just wild. Absolutely wild. We still ended up having like a Thanksgiving dinner too. They had like, so they had the generator going and they had like little hot pots plugged in all over the place. And we were like just cooking all day. It was crazy. Oh, you're in Western New York? Very cool. Yeah, light snow for us is like 2 inches. We've only gotten dustings. I think we had an ice storm and that was pretty bad in early December. And then we had like a dusting twice maybe where like it snowed but it didn't stick and it just like you wake up the next day and it's all blown away. So no real snow yet, which is crazy. I'm wondering if this is like the least amount of snow that we've ever gotten. I wonder if we're like making like a record here because it's crazy. The last year we only got 10 inches of snow, recordable snow through the whole season. So maybe that's the new Midwest thing. That maybe it's just not going to snow as much anymore. I don't know. It always goes north or south of us. So not that it hasn't snowed, it's just missed us. So all right, well, I am planning on doing mediumship readings today. That's what I like to do. So I don't know. I think I've read for, have I read for you yet, Melissa? I can't remember. Don't ever be offended if I don't remember if I've read for you or not, because, hey, Caitlin, I intentionally forget my readings when I'm done. And I think I've talked about this before. Like, I try really hard not to hold on to the energy of readings afterwards or like remember anything, so I'm not like holding on to stuff that I shouldn't be, I guess. So there's a few readings that have stuck with me for sure, and I don't know if I'll ever forget them, but for the most part I do try to forget my readings. I'm curious if I'd ever get like a repeat. Oh, I haven't read for you yet? Okay. We'll stick around. What was I saying? Oh, like if I have read for you before and the same loved one comes through again, I'm always curious if I would remember their energy. I used to do a lot of practice circles for a while, and I'd always go to the same practice circles, and the person who ran like led the circle. I think their mother really liked my energy or something, because every time I would read, I'd always get their mother. And sometimes I'd go in thinking like, oh, maybe it belongs to somebody else. But again, it would always belong to her. And she would come to me different, like feeling different every time. Um, and then I started to recognize the energy. And like I could feel her mother like 30 minutes before I'd even hop onto the circle. Like she would be with me already. And I'm like, dang. So I actually ended up I stopped going to that circle because of that. Because it's like, I don't want them to think that I'm only like I'm calling in her mother every time, because I wasn't. It was weird. Like her mom really enjoyed me giving readings, I guess. Um, so yeah, we'll see how today goes. Um, I did hop on early. I did share it out everywhere that I was going to be going live at 1 o'clock, and I am on a little early, so we'll see if more people show up around 1 o'clock. But I'm trying to decide if I want to hop right into a reading or do the oracle, pull an oracle card for somebody first. Ooh. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have questions for me too, you can definitely ask me questions. I try to be as engaging as possible. Um, but I think you guys have all watched me for a really long time, so I don't know if there's anything you don't know about me or mediumship. All right, we can do, I think I'm going to do this. So, hold on. How was it on Twitch? It went fine. Um, Twitch is definitely different. I had to have my computer up to see the chat and record from my phone. Like I couldn't have the chat and the recording on the same device, which is really weird. Like I don't know. Like I was talking to my husband about this. Like, so mostly people on Twitch are like playing video games. I don't know how they play their video games, have a camera on them, and then have a different device for the chat all at the same time. Like, that would be really overwhelming. So, I had probably like 4 people watching me again, kind of the same as on YouTube. So it wasn't very different, but I felt kind of weird because I was looking down the whole time because I had my video up here, but I was like looking down the whole time to be able to read the chat. But it was nice. I don't know how much you guys can, if they limit your comments on here for how much you can write out, but on Twitch you could like write out a lot of stuff and it wouldn't like cut you off. So that was nice. That sounds overwhelming. I have no experience with Twitch. Yeah, I don't, maybe they just want me to explore different, like, streaming capabilities. But yeah. And I don't know how they push your videos out. Because I know, like, on YouTube, they don't open your live up to be like watched unlimited by an unlimited amount of people until you have 1,000 subscribers. And so when you have to have 50 subscribers to go live, and then they cap who can watch you at 25 plus your subscribers. So it's very suppressed over here right now. Your husband uses Twitch? Cool. Yeah, I was asking my 12-year-old about Twitch, and he was like, Mom, I have no idea. But he knows everything about YouTube. So I figured I'd just try YouTube again. And this is probably where I would be. I did put like a little, I have not deleted my TikTok yet. So I did put a little note on my TikTok thing to come watch me today at 1 o'clock. So we'll see what happens. And then I always push it out on Blue Sky. So I'm up to like 71 subscribers though. So I mean, people are subscribing, but I think you have to click the bell to get notified. So it's all good. I don't know if I'd go back to Twitch again. I'm gonna keep my account, but yeah, it was definitely different. Oh, and it was really funny. So like on Twitch, I could see, it's kind of like how YouTube works. Like I could see how many people were watching me, but I couldn't see their names. And so I'd be like, hey, as you come in, like say hi so I know who's here. And we were like, I'd be talking and engaging with the people, and then it'd pop up by like 2 people. I'm like, oh, there's new people here. Hey, everybody, welcome to my live. This is what I'm doing. And I'd go through like my spiel, and then they would leave. So I thought that was so funny. Yeah, because I think that like people are used to watching people play games, I guess, and doing that. So it was mediumship is probably not done on Twitch very much at all. And I am finding Reddit pages. I downloaded Reddit because on TikTok I was obsessed with the like am I an asshole videos, like people reading stories about that and different Reddit stories. And so I was like, well, when TikTok was like going to get banned, I was like, well, I'm going to download Reddit to so I can get my stories. I'll just read them to myself, right? And I have found there's subreddits for mediumship over there. And so I've been engaging on there. And there is like a oh, you like those too, Caitlin? I love those stories so much. Um, yeah, I had quite, and I followed a few of them on YouTube as well because they would do like more, like a longer video, and then you could like get their opinions and their commentary on it because on TikTok it would just be the story, and then you wouldn't get like their commentary, what they thought if they were the asshole or not. But I did find these mediumship subreddits, and there is one where you can promote yourself and you can promote your readings, but you have to give the mods readings to be able to. You watch a guy on YouTube? Yeah. Okay, so we all love those stories. But so to get onto the mediumship page, you have to like prove that you're a medium and give people readings. And I didn't read into it all the way as to like how you schedule that. So I might end up doing that so that I can like promote this on Reddit too and get like more people subscribing and stuff. So those of you that have followed me from TikTok, I appreciate you guys so much because you could be on TikTok right now. I think a lot of the mediums did not leave, which is understandable. TikTok was a really good space for mediums and psychics. So they really found a good footing over there. Um, we'll see what happens. I've kept it just to see. I didn't want to go back on to TikTok and have another 90 days of people speculating what's going to be happening. And I was just like, ugh, I'm so over it. So I'm going to stay here. Unless it like never goes away. Who knows? But, all right. So let's do a thing for, I want to do some oracle readings while we pass the time. See if anybody else shows up at 1 o'clock. I'm going to pick, there's only 3 of you in here. So I'm just going to pick a number, 1 through 10. And then whoever gets that number, I'll do a reading for you. I'll pull you a card. And then I'll let you pick which deck you want a card from. If you want it from the elemental one or the divine nature one. They're both really good decks. The elemental one is like alchemy and science and magic. And then this one is, more like nature based. So I don't know. Would you guys want to do that? Do you want to play along? I have to pick a number. Okay. I picked a number. It's in my head. Not 3. Not 8. Not 9. Trying to make it fair. You can keep guessing. Samantha got it. It was 4. Yay, Samantha. And I can't remember Samantha. I think I always confuse you with another Samantha. All right. So, Samantha, do you want the elemental deck or the nature deck? I'm going to read for all of you. I'm going to let you do all of it. I just don't like picking the first person. The nature one? Okay. All right. Ooh, this is a really cool one. It says rewild your life. Rewild your life. I'm going to read from the deck. So, and it's number 6. I don't know if number 6 means anything. The number 6 means anything for you. So I'm going to read from the deck. So it says rewild your life. The wild isn't just a place out there. It's also a place in here. You are related to elk and deer, butterfly and hummingbird, bison, gazelle, and tiger. The mountains live in your bones, the rivers in your veins. Wildflowers grow along the chambers of your heart. You weren't born to pay bills and die, distracting yourself with the secondary satisfactions of house and car and happy hour. The time has come to unplug from your current matrix and rewind your life. Your mind is a savannah teeming with running wild beasts. Your heart is an ocean full of mighty whales and splendid dolphins. Your soul is a forest full of stories the moon whispers late at night. Indulge your own nature and rewild your life. I love that. Time to unplug. That was beautiful. Yeah. Do you get out to nature much? So I'm seeing a forest. I haven't. I have been feeling the pull. I keep seeing a bunch of trees and like wooded area. Do you have a wooded area near you that you can like take a hike through or walk? I feel like you need to spend time in nature. It's hard to do that in the winter, for sure. It's much easier to like get out and like ground yourself when the weather is nicer and it's not so cold and snowy. Oh, very cool. So you've moved recently and have been wanting to explore. Yeah. Maybe put on your winter boots and get out there, huh? All right. Caitlin, do you want the nature deck or the elemental deck? I'll pull a card for you and then I'll do one for you, Melissa. Nature. Okay. Samantha, I'm also seeing a lot of deer. So not sure if you live by like deer. It feels like I'm looking out a window and watching deer walk by. Like I could see them from my house. I don't know, does that make sense for you? I'm trying to lean into my psychic stuff. My psychic abilities. So this is I'm kind of pushing myself. All right, so Caitlin, nature. You have seen deer in your neighbor's yard? Cool. Thank you for validating that for me. All right, Caitlin. Caitlin. What does Caitlin need to know right now? You got journey. I'm trying to get like the journey. Number 40. All right, Caitlin, now is the time for journeying. That's a weird word. Journeying. Take the risk, brave the journey, say yes, and if it's not an outward journey beckoning you, turn inward and explore the stunning vistas, lost horizons, and secret forests of the psyche. Living in the mind alone is akin to living in a castle, but restricting yourself to the broom closet. Don't settle for what others have told you of adventure. Pursue your own right now. As Rumi wrote, you have no need to travel anywhere. Journey within yourself. Enter a mine of rubies and bathe in the splendor of your own light. Journeying. So hopefully that connects with you. Yeah. Do you meditate? I feel that if you were able to find, not currently, that almost makes me think of like astral traveling. If you find, it would be like guided meditations. Okay, that's fine, Samantha. There's guided meditations out there that are almost like being hypnotized, and like not in a scary way, like where it walks you through a meditation where you go really deep. I feel like you have the ability to go really deep in meditation if you like let go and allow yourself, and then you could explore like wherever you're supposed to go on your journey. I used to do these really wild meditations when I was getting into meditation. I realized that I can go deep pretty fast and I'm easily hypnotized. And so that's what really got me into guided meditations, because I can really kind of like shut my mind off and go deep if somebody else is talking to me. Like I can't do that on my own, but I can do that when somebody's guiding me through it. So maybe that's what you need to do. You've been interested in like astral traveling. That one always like scares me. I need to try again. My head always feels too loud. My therapist has given me a few tips I want to try. Meditation. Are you talking about meditation, Melissa? So I shouldn't say I don't. I can meditate on my own, but I have to like meditation in general. If I am doing it on my own and I don't have a guided meditation, my mind does talk a lot. But I try and make it to where my mind is guiding me through the meditation. Like it's more of like an active meditation than like just being quiet, you know? But otherwise, I prefer guided meditations for sure. Because then it kind of like walks me through it and keeps me on task. So guided meditations are the theme. So Melissa, do you want the Elemental Oracle or the Divine Nature Oracle card? Which one would you like? Are there any guided meditations you like more? So I mostly do Sitting in the Power recently because the Nature one too. Okay. Let me pull her card and then we could go back to talking about meditations. All right. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I pull this one. I pull this one a lot. And so maybe, and not for myself, for other people. So this may just be where we are in a universal area, which is really interesting considering like what is going on in the world right now. Because I would think that the divine feminine would be more prevalent right now, but it is the opposite. So it's cultivate divine masculine. Cultivate divine masculine, which the read on this is really good too. So it says, many of us have only witnessed the masculine as a form of patriarchy seeking to command and dominate. But this masculine force which lives inside each of us is seeking to assist you with a force that is power with rather than power over. He can guide your steps and help you turn the wisdom, intuition, and insights of the feminine psyche into action and practical magic. Let his capabilities and kindness expand the perimeter of all you hold dear, making space for you to rest your striving heart. Let go. Let yourself be loved from the inside out by the divine masculine, allowing him to open spaces for the next right action while you surrender to partnership. So it feels like a lot of us are being called to action right now, and you need, so we have the divine feminine within us, but we need the divine masculine to like put whatever that is into action. Yeah, so whenever I pulled the very first time I ever pulled that card, I was like, ugh, what? Why the divine masculine? But like once you like read it, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like it's like the yin and the yang. You can't just be all one or the other. You do need both, right? Okay, so we were talking about guided meditations. So there's guided meditations out there for everything. Like you can do find guided meditations for like clearing your chakras, balancing your chakras, inner child healing, meeting your spirit guides. Like there's so many. I do this app called Insight Timer, INSIGHT, Insight Timer. And you don't have to pay a subscription, and it's like You can type in anything you want and it's going to have meditations for you. And they could be like as short as like 5-minute meditations to an hour-long meditation. Like it has so many things. So it really depends on like what you are wanting to achieve while you're meditating, when it comes to guided meditations. And you can also just find like drumming. Sometimes I would do that where I would just find drumming, a drumming meditation, and that way it was like, what's the word? Like there was still sound and movement and something to concentrate on while I let my mind like go wild. And so there's so much out there that you could do. All right. So there's a new person in here. If you want to say hello, I can read you a card too, if you want one. I have the Elemental Oracle, and then I have my Divine Nature Oracle, and I can pull you a card, and then I think I'll get into some mediumship readings, because I know Melissa, I haven't read you, and Caitlin, I think I've read you before, but that's like, I don't mind reading you again. We never know who's going to come through, and so I'll do what I did before. I will start off. Oh, hey, Megan. Elemental. All right. Oh, that was the one I was just holding. Elemental. So I was going to say, I will start off doing spirit led. And if I have trouble connecting that way, I will end up going direct. So I've been doing the direct more lately, and it seems to be going well. It's easier when there's like, it's easier for me to go direct when there's not that many people in here. All right, what does Megan? So I'm trying to get it says ice, purity, ice. I'll read from the book. Oh, number 33. That's nice. So it says, the way forward is clear. See nature as its purity. Let it comfort you and strip away what is unnecessary. Freeze out what is not of benefit to you at this time. When you look at things clearly, there will be a purity to the solution. And they always give like this really long thing, and I don't know if I like it. Oh, good. I'm glad it connects. Sorry, I'm kind of reading the whole thing. She does, so like the message is always really tiny. It's up here. And then she goes into like this thing where she's teaching you about that thing. So I don't think you want, I mean, we all know what ice is. So that's what I was reading. Sorry, I got a little quiet there. So ice. I was trying to like hone into my psychic stuff too while I was doing this, and kind of trying to expand off of it with what is coming to me. I just keep getting like ice festival, and I don't know what that means. Like an ice festival. Okay. All right, so you guys kind of know the drill. You've been watching me for a while, and I appreciate all of you. So, when I do my mediumship readings, I like to bring forth quite a bit of evidence that can be validated. Oh, yeah. So, all right, let me go back to this. What was it, 33? Well, ice, the element is water. Ice. I haven't done my runes in a really long time. I remembered I downloaded Moonly, but I don't know if it's going to let me get into the runes on this. Oh, it does. Oh, nope, they're locked. Shame. So like what I'm seeing is like when water freezes, it isolates like the dirty particles. So you would see ice, like there's clear ice, and then you could have like dirty ice, and it feels like it is time to isolate those things that are no longer in your favor, right? Use that element to, I keep hearing isolate, to isolate the impurities to get, so that you can like pick them out, chip them away, right? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, like maybe meditate. How would you do that? Ice. How does she meditate and utilize this? Yeah, I think if you just like meditate on, oh God, it's hard to explain. So what I am seeing is, which is interesting. I think that you've told me before that you can see auras. And so it's almost like, oh, I got it. So, do you have a selenite wand? I think use the wand, get into a state where, and maybe you've done this before and you know what this is. So, get into a state where you expand your aura, focus on your aura, and use the selenite wand, which looks like ice, and have it like to clear your aura. Because I just see like little black things. Like you'd have like little particles that you need to like clear out. That's really interesting. Hello, everybody. I see there's more people coming in, so yay. If you're new here, I am Bobby, and I am going to be doing spirit-led mediumship readings, and we can kind of get started on that here. And I also have like oracle cards that I brought down today to do readings for people. Um, oh, you've done that with black tourmaline? That's cool. That's a good way to do that too. So I'm going to be doing spirit-led mediumship readings. I don't know who all else is in here besides you guys to like who's new or who's been around. Um, I'm going to start off as spirit-led and see who comes through. And then eventually I'll probably end up going direct at some point. So I like you guys are doing great. I don't like people putting information about themselves or their loved ones in the chat. I do like to be completely like blind in a sense of like who I'm going to be communicating with and who they belong to. So doing great on not sharing that information. Let's see. When I do connect with spirit, I'm going to get a little quiet. That's me I do like a little mini sitting in the power to connect with the spirit world. And I do ask them that like one person step forward at a time. I will provide like 5 to 6 pieces of information from that loved one. To try and figure out who they belong to. And if you feel like it connects with you, just let me know. There's not like a whole bunch of people in here, so I don't think it'll be very hard to figure out who it belongs to. I just need you to be quick with the chat, as quick as you could be, right? I'm gonna have to wait for you to type it all out. But don't give me any new information from what I channel. If I'm not like 100% correct, I'm trying to decide how, like if you just let me know like yes, no, or maybe if you understand it and you can connect. Sometimes it won't be exactly how I am getting the information, but it would make sense to you in a different way. So, you can say like, yeah, you're kind of there or something like that, but I don't like to be told what the correct answer is when I'm in the reading. Like you can always, I always leave space at the end for you to share and validate and talk about your loved one. And then I will be pulling at the end. I have this Talking to Heaven deck, so I'll always be pulling a message from here, from your loved one to you. I've been doing that for a while now, and it's been going really well. I got those for Christmas, and I've used them ever since, and it's been going really good. And it's really interesting because sometimes, like, I'll be getting a message as well. I get messages as well from them directly, and the card always ends up tying into that in some way, and somehow, like, what information comes up in the reading, it gets validated. So it's all very cool. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you guys are ready for me to get going, I can get going. I feel a little loopy today, so I'm not sure if that is just going to be the energy of the day or if my mind is already somewhere else. So that happens sometimes where I just kind of like disconnect in a way. It doesn't take away from the readings. It just makes me very spacey afterwards. So gently moving. So gently moving, the way that I'm doing this is we're going to start off as spirit led. So I don't know who's going to come through. Hopefully it would be one of your loved ones. I do these readings every Sunday. The time changes on the Sundays depending on when my kids have hockey practice. But definitely give me a follow so that you can get notified the next time that I am live as well. So, all right, so I'm going to get quiet here and we'll see who comes through. I do pets and people. So I'm going to open it up to everything. And then if, let me read, I will like ask them for 5 to 6 pieces of information. After I've read off all those things, then I ask you to let me know if you connect with it. Don't tell me who it is or how it belongs to you. I just need to know that it belongs to you. And then I will get more information and give you a full reading with your loved one. All right. So I'm going to get quiet here and let's see who comes through. So an interesting thing, I used to always get if it was male or female right away and then like their age. And for some reason, like the age thing has decided not to work anymore. All right. Okay. I have a male with me. He does seem older, but he wasn't really giving me like a specific age. But I feel like I have to like older is so generic, right? So I'm gonna say like 70s to 80s. He seems much old, like in the later years of life, not like earlier. I don't know. So I'm gonna go with that. He was showing me, like as he was bald, that he did have like sunspots or like these like colorations on his head. Um, I hear it as sunspots. He was showing me a cane. Sometimes this doesn't, is just, a reference point. So I don't want to say that he had to have to use a cane or it has to be a cane, but there was, so definitely like a mobility issue. May have needed some kind of assistance with walking. So I think that's what the cane is for. Um, it doesn't have to be a cane specifically. So kind of like open that up. He was giving me an N name. It came through as Nicholas. It doesn't need to be Nicholas, but there's some kind of an N name associated with him. This could be first, middle, or last name starting with an N. Uh, and it could be somebody close to him. So there's something around an N name. And then he was talking about bubble gum, and he was saying he didn't chew the bubble gum. I feel like it would have been bad for his teeth, or like if he had dentures or something, like he wasn't able to chew the gum himself, but he would always keep gum on him for like other people. So that's all that I have for now. So if this makes sense to you, please let me know if you can connect with this as one of your people in spirit. Male, older, he was bald, sunspots or discoloration. Oh my God, Megan, your people are so strong. Your loved ones. So all of it, 100%. That is wild. Okay. Yes, at least it's a person this time. Yeah. Okay. All right, let me see what else I can get. Um, so the name, is it just an N name or is it Nicholas? Like Nicholas, the N, so it's just an N name, not Nicholas. So I don't want to start calling him Nicholas if that's not like the name. But don't tell me, oh, dang it, I was just going to tell you, don't tell me yet. Nathan. All right, so just stick to yes, no's, and maybes. All right, let's see what else we can get here. He is, it's not his name. Okay. He is bringing up squirrels. Like feeding squirrels, watching squirrels, had a love for squirrels. Does that make sense to you? Um, it feels more like they would feed the squirrels in their backyard. It's kind of how it feels. Like they would like go out of their way to feed the squirrels. Yes, that makes sense to you? Okay. I do have to say, like, having not 60 people in here at once and trying to narrow it down takes so much time. Like, these readings go so much quicker here on YouTube. Instead of having to like weed out like 5 different people. Okay, what else would you like to share? He is being taught. He's talking about being gifted a belt. I don't know if that would be from you, or maybe you just know about a time that they got a belt as a gift. Being gifted a belt. Okay. And he's narrowing down onto the belt buckle. Was more of like the more important piece of the belt was the belt buckle. Does that make sense? An emblem or something with a belt buckle. Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, what else? And now he's bringing up a body of water. I want to say a lake. He's talking about a lake. Or at least a larger body of water that you guys, like he would spend time at, maybe you would spend time at. He's talking about a lake. Okay. Would it be camping and fishing that is tied to this body of water? Camping and fishing? I'm trying to pay attention to how many yeses we have on the board already. Fishing, yes. Okay. Would there also be time spent at a playground? I feel like it's still tied to the lake. I feel like he's still talking about the same thing. Like if you would go fishing and then you'd spend time like on like a swing set or like something like a play area at the lake. I'm being shown a swing set. But I feel like he's pulling off of my own memories. So it could mean something else. I just keep seeing a little girl just like running around. Um, Walking, playing. What are those things called? Like a merry-go-round. Like those old school metal ones, merry-go-round. If it's still a maybe, that's fine. He's giving me a P name now. I'm hearing it as Peter, and then he said Paul. So there's a P name associated with him. And again, it's gonna be like first, middle, last, or somebody close to him. Usually names are like they're just throwing a dart at me at like a dartboard. Peter, Paul. I don't know about a P name. Okay, write it down. He's just giving me more P names, so I don't. Patrick. So just write that down. Okay. Yeah, he's not backing off the P name. Okay. Do you have a thing with coins? Finding coins? He's saying dimes. So if it's not dimes specifically, it's going to be the silver coins, nickels, quarters, dimes. Okay. So he's the one talking about the dimes. But he's saying he's not the one that sends them to you. Someone else is sending you dimes. Okay. That's really interesting. This is the first time that I've had in a reading where they talk about somebody, like they're bringing in somebody else, like, oh yeah, this is like something that they get, and then like, but they're like, but it's not from me. I feel like though the person that you are getting them from is tied to him. So, And it feels like it's a female. Would you agree with that? That it's a female sending you the dimes? But it feels like he's tied to her somehow. So I don't know if it's like his wife or his daughter. But it's somebody else that is passed that is tied to him that is sending you the dimes. It's linked to him somehow. And I feel like you would get... Okay, so the P name makes sense now. Okay, maybe that's why he's bringing up the coins to that's really interesting. I think that's why he's bringing up the coins. Oh, you didn't know that they were from her. Okay, but they're tied to him. And I feel like you would get these dimes in like really weird places, like in a cup that you're drinking, like almost like magical things that you would, and I'm like being covered in goosebumps right now. So I think I'm on the right direction. Like you would find dimes in areas that you were like, I was literally just here and that dime wasn't there. Like, where is this coming from? Like they would just be like dropping out of space. Okay. Like specifically, do you have an instance where you did find a dime in a cup? I just want to know. A cup holder. Okay, close enough. Because that, like, he's specifically showing me a dime in a cup. And so that would make sense, like a cup holder. Okay. Okay, what else? I think that's why he wanted you to get that P name. I think that's why he brought up the coins. Okay, what else? Would you understand why he's bringing up sharks right now? Did you just like do something, see something, watch something that had to do with sharks? I feel like he's pushing me right now. Maybe. Okay, write that down. It's really weird and out of like why sharks all of a sudden? I guess just write that down. Something's gonna, I don't know. There's gonna be something around sharks. Do you have a little one? I feel like you're gonna have a little kid come to you and ask you about sharks, and you're gonna like your mind is going to be like, whoa, like what is happening? So they're just giving like, I don't know, a little glimpse into the future, a future sign that's going to come through. Because I feel like he's giving like a little wink wink right now, like just wait for it. It's going to happen. All right. All right, I'm going to, if you want to ask him a question at this point, you're more than welcome to ask a question. And then I'm going to pull from my Talking to Heaven deck for you. Oh, that is much better. All right. I would like to know if he has anything specific he wants to say to Chris or the kids. Did they call him Pop Pop? Or something like that, where it's like two words, two of the same words doubled up, like Pop Pop. Oh my God. Okay, so he's saying like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Pop Pop is still here. Like Pop Pop's still around. You can talk to me. I'm watching over you. Like he keeps saying like Pop Pop is still here. Like, is there a baby? Is there, is one of the kids still in a crib? So anywhere from like baby to like 3 in a crib. 'Cause I see him. But there were when he passed. Okay. So this might be a distant thing than like something that's not happening now, but something that did happen. He, the one that was a baby, like he spent a lot of time with, and if you had heard them like chattering in their room, they were talking together. Like, he's very well attached to that little guy. Hold on. He does spend a lot of time with the kids. He's around them a lot. He likes, so like what he, like, so the way he's saying it to me is he is a better grandpa on the other side than he would have been living because he's free now. Like, did he have a lot of ailments or like maybe some mobility issues? Oh, I think that did come up because he was talking about the cane. he would like they would not have it's hard to explain. Like he's saying he wouldn't have been able to love on them and like be as active with them as he is in spirit because he was very restricted at that time with them. And so he does have a relationship with them. He is around them. He is kind of acts as like their guardians. And there's a few of them that can actually see him and remember interactions with him, like in the spirit form. Okay, let's see what card he pulls. What card do you pull? He has the earth is our school. The earth is our school. All right, so he says, we often forget when living in a physical body that earth isn't our true home, heaven is. Heaven is a lot like earth with people, animals, flowers, trees, and the such. The difference is that up here there is no competition to meet physical needs. After all, you don't have to eat or pay taxes in heaven. You do have responsibilities, but they're part of your life purpose, so they are joyful. For that reason, everyone in heaven is relaxed, forgiving, happy, and loving. We go to earth to experience life in a physical body. It's like going away to boarding school. Once you have a physical body, the ego becomes apparent, because everyone is competing and struggling to take care of their physical demands. But if you can rise above those energies, you learn how to bring heaven's love to earth. It can take multiple lifetimes to grasp this simple yet not so simple concept. Fortunately, I'm here to help you learn what's really important for your spiritual growth: love. The more you can see yourself and others through heaven's loving eyes, the more you'll understand that everyone is doing the best they can. You'll have compassion for yourself and others, and that is when you've mastered your schoolwork. I hope that makes sense for you. All right. Oh, good. That makes sense. Good, good, good. All right. Well, thank you for being here again. You're getting so many readings. If you want to share anything, you're more than welcome to, but don't feel obligated by any means. I do like to give space for that. I don't know if I've been doing that lately, but I do feel like if there's anything that you want to share about him or whatever, they do enjoy that. I'm going to be fidgeting with my cards the whole time. Oh. Okay. That's really cool that he came through. He's very active. Her son. Oh my gosh. Very cool. Okay, very cool. And is Nathan the one that was a baby? Doug had skin cancer, was bald and needed a cane. He couldn't drive or get around much anymore and never got to take the kids fishing. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So definitely, if you take them fishing now, always say hello to Doug because he's definitely going to be there with you. Very cool. Oh, thank you, Megan. Thank you for coming and watching me again. I really do appreciate it. Um, you've been you just found me and you've been like so supportive and I am so appreciative of it. I'm curious. Oh, I get that too. I lost my father-in-law when my firstborn was 6 months old. So I totally connect with that in so many ways. Oh, I'm so glad I can bring him here for you. I'm really glad he came through for you. He's very active and so I think he uses dragonflies. He's talking about dragonflies right now. And I kind of see them like as you're fishing, like there's gonna be like dragonflies that aren't gonna leave you alone. And that's definitely him. Um, he's around you all the time. And especially if you're like talking about him a lot, that brings them around. When you talk about your loved ones and you're sharing stories, do you see them all the time? Okay, cool. Yeah, he does the dragonflies. But when we talk about our loved ones and we share the stories and we even just like thinking about them, like they are made aware of those situations, or like it's like oh, how do I describe it? So our thoughts and our stories and our words of affirmation towards our loved ones in spirit appear to them like letters. Like if you were to like send them a birthday card or something, like they get notified that you are doing that every time, and they will like appear and come around so that they can hear you talk about them. Like they love it. And like they and then they talk about you in spirit as well. And like it's like, oh my gosh. Like, you know, you don't just hang around with your only loved ones in spirit. Like you make friends over there, and like I don't know, it's like a whole other like world and life, and you have different connections and different people that you're friends with, and like you just you're living another life, right? And then you come down to earth again and you do a earthly one. But anyway, so they also talk amongst themselves about us. So like we're telling stories, and then like they're in heaven telling their friends. Like my daughter-in-law was just talking about me again today, and you know, she was doing XYZ, and like they will tell stories. So it's really fascinating. It's really fascinating. It's like a whole other social life, like in passing. And that's like what they're showing me right now. So it's like you talk about us and we talk about you, and like you may not be so much aware all the time of like them, but like they're always aware of us and like telling each other stories about what we're doing now in our life. So I don't know. I think it's really fascinating. Okay. All right. So I'm going to I'm gonna light another incense here. I found these ones at the bottom of my drawer. It says open heart, which I was like, oh, that's a great one to be burning. The essence of compassion, but it doesn't say what it smells like. I think it's lavender. And it's like woodsy. Anyways, I'm going to do this off camera because I don't know how YouTube feels about fire. All right. So if there's anybody new in here, I did bring some of my oracle cards. I have Elemental Oracle, and then I have my Divine Nature. So if you're in here and I haven't given you a card yet, just say hello and let me know which deck you would like a card from, and I can do that for you. Before I go into another mediumship reading. Everybody likes these nature ones. If anyone new is in here, I was watching the people count go up and down. No one new? Or you just want to watch, you don't want to get a card. So I am doing these oracle cards. If you're new in here and I haven't drawn you a card yet, just let me know and I'll get you a card. It was up to 7? Wow! We're living. We're living. All right. So, Melissa, I know I have not read for you probably ever. Let me just check in and see if I should hop into another reading right away. I probably can. All right. So if there's anybody new in here, my name is Bobby. I'm a evidential medium. That just means that I focus more on the things that can be validated from spirit more than the message. I like to bring forth a lot of evidence from the spirit people as to like their personality or memories, what they looked like, the things that they did while they were living. But like every time I do a reading, it's always different. I never know what's going to come through and what evidence they are or aren't going to give me. I used to be able to get ages like right away, and like that has been changing lately. So every reading I do is different. It's just really fascinating how it all works. But so am doing spirit-led mediumship readings, and depending on how that goes, I might end up doing direct readings as well. When I do direct readings, I do ask for the relationship and then their name, but I only want that if I'm going to do a direct reading. If I'm doing spirit led, I don't want to know anything. It's been interesting to see your abilities evolve. Yeah. Yeah. It changes all the time. And then like sometimes like when I'm in the reading, I never know which sense is going to be more active. So if it's going to be like the knowing, the feeling, the hearing, the seeing, it's all very much different. And sometimes I really wish that I was like really good at drawing, because sometimes I get such a good picture of what they look like. It's really hard to explain like in detail what somebody looks like when I'm like looking at them in my mind. Like I wish I could like sketch really fast. You'd be like, is this your loved one? But I can't draw very well. I can paint landscapes, but never portraits. Have I ever tried that? That would be pretty funny. So, but yeah. Yeah, the people who've been watching me for a really long time, I'm sure it has been really interesting how my readings have evolved. I feel like they change a lot. And another thing that, oh my gosh, for 2 years, thank you, Caitlin. Another thing that I used to get a lot when I was doing readings was how they passed. Like they would make me feel like when I first started doing mediumship, like I would get pains in different areas and it'd be really, really, really overwhelming. And then like that would end up being how they passed. And so just even recently, like that has gone away, where they don't focus on their passing or how they passed or why they passed. That hasn't been a focal point lately. So where it used to be, that would always come up. So I guess that's why I like doing these readings, and I like getting, because I see this as practice for me. So I'm always practicing, but yeah, it's evolved. It's definitely evolved. Yeah, so you've been watching for a bit too. Um, and you've seen the differences in my readings too. Yeah, I kind of leave it up. There are some people that follow a blueprint and they try to check off certain things, and they always ask spirit like, how did you die, or like, what did you do for a living, and they like really focus on like a checklist, right? I don't read that way. I really leave it open to spirit to tell me what they want to talk about, and it always seems to connect with the sitter, and they know who I'm talking to. Um, but I always leave it up to spirit to tell me the things that they want to talk about. Like I don't usually I do like to get the signs. So when I'm done with a reading, I will ask them like, okay, like what signs do you give? Just because I find that really fascinating and interesting. And I love synchronicities and being able to like confirm synchronicities with people. So I do have a soft spot for signs. I do like to ask them that question, but I don't ask it like right away. When I'm connecting with them and bring forth information, I really leave it up to spirit to give me what they want to talk about. And I feel like for a really long time, like I wouldn't get messages. And that's why I started letting people ask questions at the end of a reading, because I would just get like evidence, 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 evidence. And then I'd be like, okay, the reading's over. Like I've been doing this, like giving evidence for like 20 minutes. Like, is this just what it's going to be? And like, never really focused on messages. But I feel like since I've picked up this deck, um, it always somehow, what card gets pulled always matches information that has come through. Like for instance, this last reading I did, she did ask a question about like what does my loved one have to say to my child, like to the kids, and it was all about love, and then that's what came up in the card. So I think that's really fascinating. I feel like these have helped me get messages from spirit before I pull the card. So it's like been very helpful and really interesting. I like it. Okay. All right. So I think it's okay to jump into another reading. I'm going to try spirit led again, and let's see who comes through. And then if not, Melissa, I am going to focus in on you, okay? Just because I would like to be able to give you a reading. All right. So the same rules apply. Just stick to yes, no's, and maybes. Don't feed me information. Don't try to correct me if I'm not quite there, or I'm a little off, or just completely wrong. If I'm completely wrong, definitely say no. Definitely say no. That way I can go back to spirit and ask them to clarify or tell me it in a different way. That way I can get it right. So the no's help more than you think. But I do ask that you don't feed the medium. Don't give me any information about your loved one, who you want to connect to, why you want to connect with them. Like, I like to keep that all like secret. Like I don't need to know that. Um, so what I'm going to do, it's going to be like a little mini sitting in the power meditation I do where I connect with spirit in the spirit world. And I do ask for one person to step forward. I'll give off 5 to 6 pieces of information. And if you can take it, then just let me know that you can. Um, and then I will get more information from them and give you a reading. I do leave you time at the end to talk about your loved one if you want to. I do give you time at the end to ask questions, and then I'll be pulling a card from my Talking to Heaven deck for you as well. So I'm going to get quiet here, and hopefully we'll get someone new. I wish, oh, I guess I could show you like my handwriting from like one reading to the next. Even my handwriting changes. Like I'm connected with a female right now, and my handwriting is like softer and bubblier. And when I was connected with that male earlier, like I was like scribbling. So it's really interesting. All right. One more thing. Okay, so I do have a female with me. She is presenting herself with long, like curly or wavy hair, and it does look like it's blonde hair. She did give me 40s, that she passed in her 40s. She said she's a smoker, and she did have like a smoker's cough, but that's not how she passed. I think her passing was there was an accident. There's something tied to an accident with her passing. So let me know if you can connect with this, if this makes sense to you with one of your loved ones. This is a female. She has long, curly, or like wavy hair. It does look blonde or like a really, really light brown even, but it almost seems she might have dyed it blonde. If they're talking about brown hair now, she might have dyed her hair blonde. But 40s. She said she was a smoker, had a smoker's cough, and then her passing was tied to an accident. So let me know if you can take this, and then I'll get more information. But I just like to stop here for now to see if I have someone's loved one. She is giving me an R name. It feels like Rachel. Sounds like Rachel, but it could be something else. But an R name. And this could be like first, last, middle name. Starts with an R. Somebody close to them. No one? I saw the numbers going up and down, so there could have been somebody that was in here and then they left. No one? Okay. All right. I'm going to ask them to go then. All right. Melissa, if there is somebody that you want to connect with, can you let me know a name and their relation to you? Just those two things. And then I will try to give you a reading. Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. We can wait too. Who else is in here? Can everybody give me a hi, hello, or like a thumbs up or something so I know who is in here? Caitlin is still here. Oh, Gently Moving, you're still in here. Gently Moving, I am curious. Did you just come across me on YouTube, or did you find me on Blue Sky, or did you come from TikTok? Fluffy! Crisis averted. Oh, well, thank you for coming onto YouTube. Following me from TikTok. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. I don't know if I'll be going back to TikTok, so I like it when you guys come on here. I'm gonna put my hair up. It's bothering me. All right, Melissa, if there is somebody that you would like to communicate with, just let me know. I just need their name and a relation. And then I'll go in direct. Oh, what? You really think so? That is such a compliment. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Oh my gosh. I didn't have that many followers. Oh, thank you. You're gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh, you guys are all so sweet. Thank you so much. You don't want to make me cry because then I'm not going to be able to do readings. Irene. Irene. I have to be careful because this is kind of wild. I have a great grandmother named Irene. So I need to be very specific to them that I don't want to talk to my great grandmother. All right. All right. All right, I'm going to get quiet here and I'm going to try to connect with your grandmother, okay? And you know the wild thing is, my sister's name is Melissa. So thank God she's not in here. I'm going to write down your last name too. All right. So the first thing I'm seeing, Melissa, is, oh shit, my sister is here. That is so funny. Are you the one that's been quiet the whole time, not saying anything? The hidden watcher? All right. Melissa Dalton. Shoot. Okay. Hold on. I gotta focus again. So the first thing that she is showing me is her hands. Do you remember her hands being very soft? Like they're very wrinkly, skin is thin, but like so soft. Would she hold your hand like this? Like if you had your hand in her hand, would she like hold your hand like this? Like your hand would be like this book and she would hold your hand like this. That's the first thing that she is showing me. All the time? Okay. Thank you for confirming that. All right. Okay, what else would you like to share? And then she's showing me herself in the kitchen. Would you spend a lot of time with her in the kitchen? Was that like home base for her? Like I'm seeing like a mixer, like constantly like baking or cooking or like lots of time in the kitchen. Okay. Would she always have like fresh baked cookies for you? Or maybe you would help her make the cookies, but I feel like anytime that you were there, she'd always have fresh, like fresh cookies. Like right out of the oven, warm cookies. She always had cookies, but she didn't make them. Okay. Okay. But she always had cookies for you. Okay. All right, what else? So she's starting to like show herself to me for a minute. Like when it was first starting off, I couldn't see her very well, but she seems very like I wanted to say tiny and petite, but she's telling me no, like that's not the right words. But she does like frail. Um I think she had to be careful. Did she have like osteoporosis, something with the bones, her bone density? Uh she's coming off as someone who had to be very careful with how they moved and like what they like even like lifting things, like she had to be very careful. Does that make sense? It's like she's um all right, so you don't know about bones, but she did have significant health issues towards the end of life. Okay, because she was just saying like I never like broke a bone, but she was like really careful with how she would move her body to make sure she didn't hurt herself. So it could be like maybe like she didn't like could also be tied to like breathing. I feel like I'm only on the cusp of this though. Like I don't have it exactly right. She's definitely describing herself as frail. Okay. Okay, lung and breathing issues. Okay, that makes sense. Because she was bringing up like like it was more probably more tied to breathing and not the bones, but like so she was like slow moving. She wouldn't rush herself because then she would have trouble breathing if she rushed herself. Okay. So she is showing me okay. When when you would visit her, did she have like a specific room that you could play in? And it may not have been full of toys or anything like that, but it was like if you wanted to play, you had to like go to this one room. Like and it would have like stuff in there that you could mess with, but it was like that was the only thing that you could mess with. And it could be like the basement, but it feels like there's like a specific area that you would like hang out in at her house. Does that make sense? And if not, then I'll dig into it more. But if like I feel like she's using one of my memories, so I just want to make sure that I'm getting this correct. Like a playroom or the basement that would have like a bunch of stuff in it that you could play. Like she was like she didn't care what you did in the basement as long as like you didn't break anything. And just yes, no, or maybes is fine too. Okay, you did have your own room at her house. Okay. Okay, cool. And she is showing me like China now, and it feels like it would be in, I guess there's like those China huts, but it's like she had dishes on display that like nobody could eat off of. Like they were never used, but she had like her special dishes. She did have special dishes? Okay. Okay, I'm going to see, is there anything else that you want to share? She's saying nickname right now. Does she have a nickname for you? I don't know. Don't tell me it. I might be able to get it, but I feel like just yes or no if there was a nickname that she had for you. It feels like my little something, my little something. And I keep hearing My Little Pony, but I don't think it's My Little Pony. It's like My Little something. Am I close? My Little what? Not pony. Yeah, but does it, was it My Little like something? I don't know if I'm going to get it. And she's also, so it's not My Little something, but she does have a nickname for you. And she's also saying something about a code word. Did you ask her to, like, if you have you spoke to her in spirit where you're like, hey grandma, if you come through, like, I want you to say this specific thing? Okay. But you can talk to them after, like, after they died, and you can set up code words with them. I don't know why she's giving me this. Um, it could be somebody else in your family has done this, because she's talking about a code word, but she's not telling me what the word is. All right. Do you know? She was glue on that side. Okay. Um, was there jewelry that was passed down from her? She's talking about jewelry right now. Um, I keep hearing pearls, so I don't know if it's pearls specifically, but she's talking about jewelry being passed down or given with her passing, jewelry. She said pearls, but that doesn't mean that it has to be pearls. You were supposed to. Oh no. That's sad. Yeah, she's bringing that up for a reason. She's bringing up trinkets and it was pearls. Oh my God. You're kidding me. I don't think she's very happy about that. Especially she's bringing it up. But she also is talking about like knick-knack things. Um, so do you know the Russian dolls where they have like a doll inside a doll inside a doll inside a doll? Um, do you have a connection with her with that has to like Russian dolls? Like, does she have a Russian doll? Or did you used to play with it? Um, yeah, I just keep seeing a Russian doll. And I keep seeing it being like taken apart and then being put back together and then taken apart and then being put back together. Okay, but you get it? Okay. Sometimes they just give me words and I try not to like analyze it or figure out what it is, but she's just giving me words and so and then like she is showing me it being taken apart and put back together, so I think that's just so that I know it's a Russian doll, but you do have some of her trinkets, okay? Or you wear it? Okay. All right. I'm going to see if there's anything else that she wants to talk about. So this is coming through as more of a feeling. Um she's making me feel like somebody was supposed to be there when she passed and they decided not to go. I think that they were scared. I don't think that they wanted to be there to see that happen, the passing. Um, I'm gonna ask, like, was that you? She's talking about somebody like given the option to go and be there, and then like they decided not to go. And I feel like there's a lot of guilt around that. And she's wanting to say like you do not need to feel guilty. Like you had the choice and it was your choice to make. Like it wasn't expected. Your mother wouldn't allow you to go. Did you want to? Did you want to go? And then you were told no, you can't go. I feel like do you feel or do you hold guilt? Because I feel like she's saying like don't. Like don't feel guilty, don't be mad. Like that was the choice that was made and like it's okay. Like it's time to let that go. Yeah, definitely time, like let it go. Work on that, okay? And she's covering me in goosebumps. So definitely work on letting that go, that guilt go. Um she's like holding me still right now. I'm trying to figure out what she's trying to say. Um it's really hard when you oh, hold on. I got to make sure I get this right. It's really hard. She's kind of all over the place right now. Um it's about like not being able to say goodbye. Like oh my gosh, my phone is like blowing up right now. Hold on. I just really want to make sure I get this right because it's like you have this feeling that your chance to say goodbye was taken away from you and that she would have wanted you like she needed you to be there, like she needed you. Is that how it feels? Is that how it felt for you? That like your choice was taken away from you and your grandma needed you. Does that make sense? Because if that is how you felt, then I know what I'm going to share next is what she wants to say. But I just want to make sure that I'm getting this right. Because it's a very delicate situation, a very delicate message. Yeah. So the option was taken away from you and you wanted to be there for her. Um I think what she's trying to say is that your mother was doing what she thought was right for you because I don't think that your grandma, she wasn't in a very good state in her passing. Um, it would have been probably more traumatic had you been there because your grandma wasn't herself and it was really hard. It would have been really hard for you to watch her go. Um, she is showing me that it feels like it would have been a painful passing, because she was not in her body. She left her body. And she did visit you. It's hard for me sometimes to share these messages like this because there's no evidence, and it's my word that you have to take, but I do hope that you take this to heart. So and I think that's why I am always so hesitant sharing these types of messages, just because it's not evidence based, right? Like, you have to take my word for it. But she did visit you. She did visit you in spirit before she passed. And I don't know if you would have a memory of like feeling like the energy in the room change where you were at. Like, because I'm sure that you were in a state where you were really upset because, you know what is happening and you're not allowed to be there. But she did come visit you, and she's kind of grateful that you weren't there because it wasn't an easy thing. It wasn't an easy thing. So, and I'm going to pull a card, okay? Because I have a feeling the cards are going to say it better than I can. But she definitely wants you to let that guilt go. Try to work through that. And Melissa, she was there. Oh my God. I have goosebumps. She was there with you. She was there with you. She did come visit you. She is validating that for you right now. Oh my God. I have goosebumps. Thank you for sharing that, because it felt like that is definitely what happened. She did come visit you. All right, I'm going to pull a card for you, okay? Oh, wait, sorry. They told me that they want to be shuffled this way. All right, so her card for you is I have a new understanding. I have a new understanding. All right, let's see what that says. All right, so ironically, I understand life so much better now that I'm not physically alive. Of course, my soul, like yours and everyone else's, is very much alive. In fact, I've learned that nothing can harm our souls because they are God's handiwork. Oh, sure, our emotions and our psyches can get wounded, but those are still part of the human ego, so they can be healed with the right understanding. Basically, I've learned to have complete compassion for myself, for everyone, and for the process of life. I wasted so much time judging myself and others, and I held back because of insecurities that had no foundation. Now I see that there's nothing to fear at all because nothing bad can ever happen to you at a soul level. So please learn from my experiences. Live your life with gusto and joy. I love that. Lots of compassion. You are so welcome. I'm glad I worked through that because I think that's why I sometimes I have a hard time giving messages, because I want to make sure that I am like as accurate as possible and that I get it right, because these could be like life-changing things. And so I want it to be correct. So that makes me really happy that you were able to validate that, like, and I be able to validate it for you. Like, if you've been wondering this whole time, like, was that really my grandma? Yes, that was your grandma. She came to you for sure. And definitely work on letting, you know, sometimes hard choices need to be made. And our parents think that they're doing the best for us. But I think your grandma agrees with her that you probably shouldn't have been there, and that's why she came and visited you. She loves you so much. Know that. One thing I do like to ask them is their signs for us. She was a feisty lady. Do you have roses in your yard? I'm being shown white roses. I was asking her for her sign for you, and she is showing me white roses. Like big fluffy ones, big fluffy white roses. Does that make sense to you? Oh, Lily Rose. Does she look like her grandma? Or have her personality maybe? Does she remind you of your grandma? I'm curious why she would be bringing up your daughter for as the sign, unless she's like has her personality, or like when you look at her, she reminds you of your grandma. I'm curious. She doesn't look like her at all, but they do match personalities. I've always wondered if she would be proud of my parenting and what she would think of my babies. She's very proud. She's very proud of you. She definitely sees herself in your daughter. What a beautiful connection. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you, Melissa, for hanging out and following me for so long. Um, and following me here from TikTok. All you guys following me from TikTok, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to keep sticking it out here on YouTube, and so hopefully we'll find some more people. But if you just keep watching me, you're just going to keep getting all these wonderful readings. I don't know if I want to. You're so welcome. Thank you so much. I'm glad that worked out. So I guess, so when I was on TikTok, with the amount of people that would be on my lives, like I could not do direct. Like I would try and do direct and I had such a hard time. But it seems like I can actually do that here on YouTube. With like with lower viewer counts, I can definitely do direct, which makes me happy because I thought that I was just really bad at it, but I think it's probably just too many people in the room. Because if you think about it, like let's see, on average, everybody has like 3 past loved ones, like 3 times 60. That's a lot of dead people. You know? So I appreciate you guys all hanging out. I'm feeling a little spacey right now, so I don't know if anybody has questions for me at this time. I am more than welcome to answer any questions that you guys have about mediumship, about the spirit world, working with your spirit guides. Anything like that. We're up to 7 again. That's better than 4. And I'm up to 71 subscribers now. Like just a few weeks ago, I only had like 50. So we're coming along. What books or audio visual media are you into right now? I don't read very much. I am reading a book that I got for Christmas. It's called Soul Smart, and it's a short book, but it's taking me forever to read because I don't read very much anymore, just because when I go to bed, like, I'm tired and I fall asleep fast. So I don't read nearly as much as I used to. But I am reading Soul Smart. It's really interesting. It's about this medium. She's like, the first chapter is about her abilities and her life and how mediumship showed up for her throughout her life And then now she's getting into like, oh, what was the last thing I read? She's getting more into how things are in the spirit world, which I think is interesting. I'm trying to be very open-minded while I read through it because there's some things that she has said that I'm like, I don't know if I believe that personally for myself. But I'm like not taking that in and just like throwing the whole book away. So I'm trying to learn something from it. So I'm reading that one. And then my husband got me this book called Psychic Witch, which I was going to start reading right after this one. So I usually tend to like stick with like metaphysical books right now. Nothing like, I can't remember I think the last like not spiritual book that I read was probably the Hunger Games series. And that was a really long time ago. And I don't do podcasts. I don't listen to podcasts or audiobooks. I have ADHD and it's really hard for me to listen to podcasts because my mind wanders and then I'm like tune back in and they're like way down the line of talking about something else and I'm like, I have no idea what I just missed. I have no idea what they're talking about. So I don't typically do podcasts. But yeah. What are you reading right now? Yes, Caitlin, I've talked about it. Is that the book where they are doing it on the other side? Yes. She does say that spirits like to be intimate with each other. So I guess that doesn't go away after we die. Oh my God. Isn't that funny? I'm just like, okay. Yeah, I'm still reading through that one. I haven't finished it yet. Like I probably read one day a week. Like it's really bad. I used to read all the time and I just don't read that much anymore. But I have a lot of maybe okay, you're giving me homework. So on my next live, I will bring a stack of books. I'll bring the books that I have read that are spiritual that are really good and you should look into. I have a terrible memory with my ADHD. Like I can't remember off the top of my head like the names of things. Like I'm bad with that with movies too. Like I can't remember the names of things. So I have to have it in front of me. So I'll get a stack of books and I'll share it with you because I've talked about a few of them on here that I really do think that people should read. Like there's this really amazing book about like tree communication and that was really cool and she came with like a bunch of science and stuff to like back up that like plants and trees have feelings and thoughts and souls and that was like the coolest book I've ever read. It really made me think about things differently. And then there's the series I read called Something Walker. And it was about this guy who spontaneously started to astral travel and he astral traveled to like the future where California was in the sea and everything was like cute, like there were no buildings, like everything was ruins and it was back to like Native American type, how like the Native Americans used to live. Like it was back like that where there was tribes and there were white people, but they lived as like nomads, like walking across, America or wherever. Um, but that one was really cool. Really cool. I really enjoyed those books. All right, see ya, Gently Moving. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we could do a book club. I don't read all of them. I probably have, or I mean, everything I've had, I've read. Um, yeah, we could come with books next time. I'm trying to think of what other ones I read that were really good. I read a couple Dolores Cannon books, and there's one book that she has called, I'm not going to remember the name of it, but so I don't know if you guys have heard of Dolores Cannon. She did hypnosis. Yeah, the tree one is really, really good. Have you heard of The In Between? No, I'm going to write that down. See, you even come with authors. That's nice. I will do that. Um, but I read a couple of Dolores Cannon's books, and there's a lot that Dolores Cannon talks about that I don't agree with. I don't agree with, like, there's a lot that I don't agree with. I don't want to know if I want to get into it. But she did hypnosis, which I do think people can do, and take people into like their past lives. And she wrote this book about this person who, when they would go under hypnosis, they would go into a lifetime where they lived at the same time as Jesus. And she talks about like what like what people of that time thought about Jesus and how he was raised and what schools he went to and stuff like that. And that one was really interesting. Ooh, Melissa. I like that a lot. I'm definitely going to get that one. I like those books. And then like the one that's been on my wish list for a really long time and I just haven't bought it is The Journey of Souls by this guy. I'm not going to remember his name. But he does kind of like what Dolores Cannon did, where he talks about or he would hypnotize people, put them under, and then have them go to like past lives, and then they would go into like the space in between, um, where souls go in between lives, and talked about like that. So basically, like the spirit world. Um, and so I want to read that one too. And then I really love the ones what people have written when they have like near death experiences and like what they experienced in that time before they came back. Like I find that really fascinating too. Very cool. All right, I'm going to check in and see. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another reading today. I was kind of nervous coming on because I just lost an aunt and we're going to be going to her funeral this weekend. And I didn't want, not to say like I didn't want her to come through, but I was really nervous. Like, if she would come through, but she has not. So that is probably a good thing. So I don't know if there's anybody new here that hasn't. I have my Oracle deck. I have Divine Nature, and then I have my Elemental Oracle. So if you're new in here and I haven't pulled a card for you yet, just say hello and I can pull a card for you. It doesn't tell me, YouTube doesn't tell me who's in or not in here. You can do that. Or if there's any other books that you guys want to talk about. All right. Is that it today? Well, I thank you all for joining me and hanging out. I did start a little early, so I think I've been on for 3 hours. So I think I'm going to get going. But I thank you all for coming and watching me today. I greatly appreciate all of you for following me and hanging out and being here. Yep, go finish your homework and take care of your baby, your sweet little baby. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for hanging out, Megan. All right, so I will see y'all around. So I always end it with thank you to our guides, thank you to our loved ones, thank you, and I will see y'all around. Bye.